Hello students, welcome to today's lesson on the normal form of matrices. I'm your instructor and today we'll explore a complete guide to matrix reduction. This is a fundamental concept in linear algebra that will help you understand how matrices behave and interact. Let's begin this exciting journey together. Before we dive in, let's look at what you learned today. We'll start with introduction and definitions to build our foundation. Then we'll understand matrix rank, a crucial concept. Next, we'll walk through the reduction process step by step. We'll work through detailed examples together, and finally, we'll explore the real-world applications and significance of normal forms. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of matrix reduction. So, what exactly is normal form? Let me explain this clearly. The normal form of a matrix is a standardized representation that we achieve through elementary row and column operations. Think of it as cleaning up a messy matrix to reveal its true structure. Here's the key insight: normal form reveals the rank of a matrix in the clearest possible way. This is incredibly important because it helps us determine if a system has solutions, shows us linear independence of vectors, and reveals the dimension of vector spaces. It's like having X-ray vision for matrices. Now let's look at the fundamental theorem. Any matrix A of size m by n with rank r can be reduced to this beautiful block form. We have an identity matrix IR in the top left, zeros everywhere else. What does this mean? IR is an identity matrix of size r by r, where r is the rank of our original matrix. All other entries become zero. This tells us something profound: two matrices are equivalent if and only if they have the same rank. Let's make sure we understand rank clearly. The rank of a matrix A is the maximum number of linearly independent rows or columns. But there are several equivalent ways to think about this. It's the maximum number of linearly independent rows or columns. It's the number of pivots in row echelon form. It's the dimension of the row space or column space. And it's the number of non-zero rows after reduction. All of these definitions point to the same fundamental concept. Here are some key properties you must remember. For any m by n matrix A, the rank is between 0 and the minimum of m and n. The rank of a transpose equals the rank of A, very useful. The rank of a plus B is at most the sum of their individual ranks. For matrix multiplication, the rank of A times B is at most the minimum of their ranks. And here's something crucial: elementary operations don't change rank. Remember, the rank tells us the true dimension of the matrix's effect on vectors. This is important: don't confuse normal form with row echelon form. Row echelon form uses only row operations and creates zeros below pivots, giving us this form with an identity block and some matrix F. Normal form goes further. It uses both row and column operations to create zeros around all pivots, giving us the clean block diagonal form. The key difference? Normal form uses column operations to eliminate entries to the right of pivots. This extra step makes normal form more powerful for understanding matrix structure. Now let's learn the systematic algorithm for reducing matrices to normal form. For each diagonal position k starting from 1, 1, we follow these steps. First, Find a pivot. If the diagonal element is 0, we swap rows or columns to get a non-zero element. Second, make the pivot equal to 1 by dividing the entire row by the pivot value. Third, 0 below, use row operations to eliminate all entries below the pivot. Fourth, 0 right, and here's the key difference, use column operations to eliminate entries to the right of the pivot. Finally, move to the next diagonal position. We stop when we can't find any more non-zero pivots. This systematic approach guarantees we'll reach normal form. Let's work through a concrete example together. We'll reduce this 3 by 4 matrix to normal form step by step. Our matrix has the values shown here. Watch carefully as we apply our algorithm systematically. We'll start at position 1, where our pivot is 2, that's non-zero, so we are good to go. Let's make this pivot equal to 1 by dividing the first row by 2. Excellent. Now we have our first pivot as 1. Next, we need to zero out everything below this pivot. We'll use row operations. For the second row, we subtract 1 times the first row. For the third row, we subtract 3 times the first row. Notice how we are systematically eliminating the entries below our pivot. This gives us zeros in the first column below our pivot. The first column now has the structure we want, or 1 on the diagonal and zeros below it. Here comes the crucial step that makes normal form special. Now we eliminate to the right of our pivot using column operations. We subtract 1/2 times column 1 from column 2, 3/2 times column 1 from column 3, and 2 times column 1 from column 4. This is what makes normal form different from row echelon form. We are creating zeros not just below, but also to the right of our pivot. See how the first row now has a 1 followed by zeros? This is the power of using both row and column operations. Moving on to position 2. Our pivot here is -1/2, that's non-zero, so we can proceed. We make this pivot equal to 1 by multiplying the second row by -2. Now we have a 1 in position 2. Next, we eliminate below this pivot. We subtract 1/2 times the second row from the third row. Notice how systematically we are building our identity block in the top left corner. We are making excellent progress toward normal form. Now for the column operations on our second pivot. We eliminate to the right by adding column 2 to column 3 and subtracting 2 times column 2 from column 4. See what's happening? Our first 2 rows and first 2 columns are forming a perfect 2 by 2 identity block. The pattern is becoming clear. We are systematically creating that beautiful block structure with the identity matrix in the top left. We are almost there. Moving to position 3, our pivot is -3, perfect. We make it equal to 1 by multiplying the third row by -1/3. Finally, we eliminate to the right of this pivot by subtracting 2/3 times column 3 from column 4. And there we have it. Our normal form is complete. We have a perfect 3 by 3 identity matrix in the top left, with zeros everywhere else. The rank of our original matrix is 3, which we can see clearly from the 3 pivots we found. Let's look at another example to reinforce our understanding. Here's a matrix where rows 1 and 3 are identical. What do you think will happen? When we reduce this to normal form, we get an identity matrix in the top 2x2 block, but the third row becomes all zeros. This immediately tells us the rank is 2, not 3. The repeated row creates linear dependence, which our normal form algorithm reveals beautifully. This is why normal form is so powerful, it makes the rank structure crystal clear. Sometimes we encounter a problem. What if our diagonal element is 0? Here's matrix C where position 1 is 0. No problem. We simply swap rows to get a non-zero element in that position. We swap row 1 with row 2, and now we can proceed normally. After complete reduction, we get our familiar block form. The rank here is 2. Remember, swapping rows or columns doesn't change the rank, it's just a tool to help us find pivots when we need them. Now let's understand why normal form is so important in mathematics. It's all about matrix equivalence. Two matrices A and B are equivalent if one can be obtained from the other using elementary row and column operations. Here's the beautiful equivalence theorem. Two matrices are equivalent if and only if they have the same rank. This means normal form gives us a way to classify all matrices. Matrices with the same rank are essentially the same in terms of their fundamental properties. This has profound applications in solving linear equations, determining linear independence, finding dimensions of vector spaces, and understanding matrix transformations. Let me give you a visual understanding of what rank really means. Think of matrices as transformations that change vector spaces. A rank 3 matrix gives us a full space-to-space transformation. A rank 2 matrix collapses 3D space onto a 2D plane, we lose one dimension. A rank 1 matrix squashes everything onto a line, we lose 2 dimensions. And a rank 0 matrix, the 0 matrix, maps everything to a single point at the origin. The rank tells us how much information the matrix transformation preserves. This is why understanding rank through normal form is so valuable. It reveals the geometric essence of what the matrix does. Let's summarize what we've learned today. First, normal form reveals matrix rank in the clearest way possible. Second, our algorithm is systematic. Find pivots, make them one, eliminate around them using both row and column operations. Third, the key difference from row echelon form is using column operations too. Fourth, we always get that beautiful block form with an identity matrix and zeros. Finally, this has amazing applications in matrix equivalence, linear systems, and transformations. Most importantly, remember this, two matrices are equivalent if and only if they have the same rank. Now it's time to practice. I've prepared 3 problems for you to work on. First, reduce this 2x2 matrix to normal form and determine its rank. Second, work with this 3x3 matrix. Is it full rank? Third, tackle this 2x4 matrix and count the pivots. Here are my tips for success. Work systematically through each pivot position just like we did together. Don't forget those crucial column operations, they're what make normal form special. And always check your rank by counting the pivots you found. Remember, each pivot represents one dimension of independence in your matrix. Congratulations! You've mastered the normal form of matrices. This powerful technique will serve you well throughout your studies in linear algebra. Next time, We'll explore how to apply normal form to solve linear systems efficiently. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning about this beautiful mathematical concept. Keep practicing, and remember, mathematics is everywhere around us, waiting to be discovered. Until next time, happy calculating.